Umesiri, CEO of Nazaru, and the founder of the Trade with Africa Business Summit. So, I have a couple of updates I wanted to share and put out there today. Um, for the Trade with Africa Business Summit, for those who have followed us over the years, thank you. This year would be our fourth year where we convene global stakeholders, policymakers, business executives, innovators across various sectors. And this year, as we're preparing to put the event together, one thing that we're doing that is completely new is we're introducing the B2B and B2G matchmaking sessions. Okay, so that's something I'm going to explain today, what that looks like. I also want to provide a quick recap of one of this week's newsletter where we talked about market access for African exporters. So if you're online, do say hello, say hi. I really do appreciate. I know this is quite unusual for me to join at this very time, but there were a couple of things we wanted to just share because the week has been really busy. And this is a good time for me to just slow down and be able to share with those who follow our work as well. So, how was your week? How was your week? It went really fast. I'm looking forward to spring break. I don't know how much break I'm going to get because so many people are looking up to me and say, "Hey, mommy, what are we doing this week or for spring break?" So, anyway, I'm looking forward to that break as well. Um, Hello, Alexander Oni. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Where are you joining from? So anyway, so today I want to talk about the business to business and business to government matchmaking service that we're bringing as part of Trade with Africa Business Summit this year. And it's also something we'll be doing going forward. So why are we putting this together? What's happened over the years is that a lot of stakeholders look to us. They come to us. They pitch. They always pitch their products, their businesses, their company, their investment activities, their export promotion activities. They always pitch it to Nazaru. Great, fantastic. We love that. Keep bringing those. But what's also now seeing is we're seeing opportunities where we can help bring those stakeholders together because we're kind of like a traffic coordinator, if air traffic coordinator in a way, because we see a whole lot more of the landscape than most people see. We see what's going on in the political space. We see policy adjustments happening because of the role I also play. Um, so on the continent of Africa. So basically, one of the this is it's almost like a no-brainer for us to introduce this service because we already have the Trade with Africa network. If you're not familiar about that, let me quickly show that to you. So we actually have the Trade with Africa network, and a lot of activities happen on this network every day. People are messaging each other, introducing each other. They're doing it already. I think what we just want to introduce now is more of a formalized approach where we screen. So there's an application process. I'll share the links in a minute, but there's an application process. We are going to screen those that apply. We screen them because there's a certain level of profile that we want to make sure people have. And also we want to look at, okay, is this an investment promotion activity on the side of the government or export development activity, or are you trying to promote your brand, or is this a new production introduction into the marketplace, or is this a service that you're trying to bring to the market as well? So the platform that we have, our reach is quite quite massive. Over the years, it's something we've built. So now we also see a need for us to help matchmake stakeholders. So basically, what does that look like? This is going to be a massive exposure for those that we select, and it's a paid service. So it's going to be a massive exposure where your business profile or your government profile or your investment profile will be showcased. A representative of the government or business or product or brand will also have a moment to speak and share. Your contact information would be released to attendees and members of our database. That way, even after the event, it's more like being able to reach you, even beyond the event. Because our platform, that's one of the powerful things about our platform, is that a lot of times people just come in, engage, one-on-one here, this meeting or not. That's not what we do. We actually go over and beyond that. So basically, government or business representative would pitch, would be able to share what they do. It's going to be arranged as sector specific. So we're going to have sector days. So, for example, healthcare, infrastructure development, fintech, agri tech, all of that. We're going to group those who apply into days like sector days. And based on those days, so on healthcare days, we will have the groups of people that want to match make between, within that sector, like, for example, I want to be a distributor, or I'm looking for a distributor, or I want to export. This is what we have. We have healthcare equipment, or that we want to distribute. We have scanned all of those things, right? We're going to give you the platform to be able to showcase what it is you're trying to do. And then everybody that is interested will also make sure that we give them, make sure they know how to reach your contact information. Now, for those who want to participate, there are two ways to participate. One is participating as an event attendee. So it's an exclusive activity. The other thing is participating as, a government or an agency or a business that wants to be matchmaked. So there are different processes. You can be a viewer, right? Really looking for partnerships, or you can be the brand or business trying to put your brand out there. So I'm super excited about this new service we're introducing, because for me, I'm constantly looking for how to bring more value to to the community that we serve. That's really when I wake up in the morning. It's like, what does my community need? What value can I bring? And that's why we do a lot of master classes as well, coaching, because at the end of the day, the journey that we're taking people on, it's not something that happens overnight. We realize that. So what we're doing is we're creating platforms and networking opportunities and resources that help people to win and succeed on that journey, and to be able to also accelerate their goals. One thing I like to say is, people are smart. Eventually, you figure things out, but the cost of figuring out might take you 3 years, 2 years. And when you work with Nazaru, definitely what we help you to do is to cut down that duration of, seeking partners and looking for opportunities and looking, all of those things. That's one of the reasons we built our landscape to be this broad and this deep as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So how do you sign up? Um, Basically, you can sign up in two ways. One would be on the trade network, or you can go to nazaru.com, right? And there's going to be a link that says B2B B2G. You can click on that. One thing I can also do right now is just to share that link right here. I believe the system allows me to do that. Exactly. So I just posted that link out there. So basically, you can go directly to that link, complete the application form, and include as much information as possible, your company or your government. What are you trying to promote? Is it an investment promotion? Do you have an investment that you're trying to attract, investment opportunity that you're trying to attract investors for? All of that, or you have products you want to showcase to potential buyers around the world, all of that. So our global reach is something that we're now bringing to bear for the community that we serve. So that's the first thing I wanted to share today. If you have any questions, do drop it or email us as well. info at nazaru.com. Definitely do reach out to us. My team will be responding back to you. Okay, the second update. If you have any questions, just drop it. But the second update that I wanted to bring today actually has to do with the newsletter that I sent out yesterday. Okay. So what did that newsletter contain? Basically, for the newsletter, I covered this whole idea of market access for, African exports. Part of why I say market access, if you've attended my trade and investment masterclass, then you know what I mean by market access. A lot of people do not know what it means. But providing market access requires multiple steps of activities. People just think, oh, I have a product, I want to take it to the market, it's ready to go. It doesn't work that way. I wish it were that easy, right? Like, oh, everybody, as they say, if wishes were horses, or how do they say it? Everybody would be riding it, right? It's not that easy. There are a series of activities that has to happen that actually allows your product to be penetrate a new market. And what we also see in trying to summarize it in one sentence, which I included in the newsletter, was that the global buyers that I speak with, right, they're always looking to buy. But their criteria, just like I said, they are not going to lower their expectations or their standards or their requirements for anyone. What's also happened is they can't seem to find, I'm putting seem to find, African exports that meet the criteria oftentimes. Because one distinction that I also try to make is that a lot of times people on the continent, they mistake global buyers for aggregators, because a lot of times the people they see in the market in Africa are actually aggregators, meaning they're going into an unorganized market. They're investing in putting that market together. They're aggregating sources of supply, right? Like, because there are smallholder farmers, for example, cashew. There are smallholder farmers everywhere. The aggregators, also known as off-takers, they're the ones that do the work of, aggregating and pulling those volume together, because the global buyer, they are looking for volume. They're not looking for one bucket of cashew. They're looking for volume. And guess what? The global buyer would not play the role of aggregator. That's because they have a business to run. Their loyalty is to their end consumer. They don't have resources to throw around. All they want to do is your product ready? Does it meet our standards? If yes, here's the money, transactions, right? But before you get to that point, there are several things they're looking for, and the aggregators know what they're looking for. So the aggregators then put it upon themselves to go into the market and do the heavy lifting of aggregating supply and sources, and then processing, and then packaging, and then distributing to the global buyer. And there's a lot of work involved. And oftentimes, because I sit at the intersection and I listen to all the stakeholders. Now, those on ground, they consider a lot of the aggregators and what they do as exploitative in a way, in many areas, not all areas, but in many areas, whether it's in raw commodities or things like diamond or oil or all of those, or even agriculture products. The general mindsets or belief on ground in Africa is that they are not being paid, but they also need to understand that the aggregators are also trying to maximize their profits. Like, they're investing in the market as aggregators, as off-takers. They're bearing the risk, because at the point of coming into the market, really, they have to pull the volume. They have to hold that volume, that inventory. They have to invest their cash, right? So they have cash flow tied up in various ways. One, in paying the farmers, another in holding the inventory, another another in transportation, logistics. If they have to process, if they have to clean, they're doing all that work. Okay. So at the end of the day, when they do all that work, their whole game is, I want to maximize I want the best return on my investments. I've done all of this work, right? Now, the opportunity that exists now is, who is going to do that work? If the off-takers disappear, and I've seen things happen with COVID-19 impact, with shifts in the global supply chain, with border closures and all of those things, the movements of in and out of goods on the continent has also been impacted. And a lot of the aggregators have also moved back a little bit, because the cash that they used to tie into the processes, into their work, it's not flowing as, even buyers have also shrunk, or withdrawn back, because of, again, because of consumer demand. Demand went down. So if consumer demands went down, moved online, well, then the buyer passed on that constraints to the aggregators, and then the aggregators themselves were like, okay, we have to hold back, because we can't keep pumping cash when the market is shrinking right now. Okay, so because of all of that activities, so many things are also happening in the global supply chain. Buyers are also looking for alternative sources of supply chain, not just in Africa. They, because people also need to look at buyers as they are really not particular. They're particular on the quality of what they have, on making sure the standards are there, or factory warranty, all of those things, traceability, sustainability, all of those metrics. They're particular about that, but they are not particular about what region can meet that demand. Okay, what I mean is, um, if China does it well, we'll go to China. If it's India, we'll go to India. If it's Vietnam, fine. We just want XYZ. So if it's Africa, yes, by all means. So the signal we are getting from global buyers is that they are very much open, not just open, actively, they want to see what Africa wants to bring to the table, right? Which is some of the work we're doing as well. But what we've also found on the African side is there's a lot of preparation and coaching and pitch and all of those, and aggregation and what I say, organizing the market that has to happen for those players to really be able to meet that demand and the requirements. Okay. So we see a kind of stalemate. Who's going to move first? Guess what? Global buyers are not spending their money coming to you, look for you. Aggregators can, off-takers can. That's what they do. But if you want to secure maximum opportunity and all of that, there are other ways to do it. But it requires investment, it requires focus, it requires dedication, it requires um, consistency over a period of time, because buyers are looking at different I worked with buyers. I worked on sourcing and all of that, the checklist and everything like that. That's really one of the passions I have in bringing this experience and expertise to help grow trade with Africa, is because the way they think is so different. It's so different. Unfortunately, the other thing that we're battling or that I see on the continent is that there's a mindset shift that has to happen. A lot of the people on the continent, they're always saying things like, and it's unfortunate, they're always saying help, 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 help Africa. But in the world of global buying or investments, it's different from foreign aid. And that's why in my master class as well, I help people shift from this laser focus on multinationals to bail. You know, there's a lot of programs I see floating around. For example, WTO, the aid for trade. I get it, but right. I want to see what it means. Aid for trade. Is it how are they going to support actual business to business engagement? I've not seen it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've not seen it. So what I'm also seeing is that the people that should be advancing and showing up and negotiating, they're waiting for somebody else to come and bail them out. And it doesn't happen that way. The reality is that aid didn't make China what China is. Let me say that again. Foreign aid did not make China what it is, did not build the infrastructure and the trade opportunities that Chinese firms enjoy today. Aid is a crutch. And a lot of people are leaning on that crutch, and that crutch can break and snap anytime. It's not going to hold. What I also say is the aid is not going to hold the aspirations that I'm seeing Africans are having. Africans, they're having this massive aspiration to go to the moon, to be. I see it. But that aspiration cannot be upheld by aid, foreign aid. It's a crutch. The other thing I see on the continent is that a lot of the leaders, there are things that just has to happen. So maybe I'll stop there because I got kept pulled into so much conversations. I see the drive. I see the optimism. I see all of the engagements happening, but we also have to call out what's working, what's not. And we also have to kind of guide people to say, if you want to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish, there are other ways. There are definitely other ways to get to that point as well. So one of those ways is the solution we're bringing with our B2B and B2G matchmaking service, is realizing that you need global visibility to investment opportunities in your region. You need global visibilities to your business, to your product, to your services. For global brands that want to penetrate Africa, you need to come to the room and showcase your product, whether it's healthcare, whether it's infrastructure development, whatever it is you're doing, you need to start showing up in rooms like ours as well, because that's where you start closing the gap. The other thing, and maybe final thing I also want to say is, I always tell people there are markets, right? Just like you have physical markets where if you want to buy something or if you want to sell something, you physically go to say, okay, I want to buy egg or I want to buy this, right? You physically go into that space. Because if you stay in your house and you say, oh, I need milk, you can keep saying that for the next 1 year. You're not in the market. So what it is you need is not you're not in proximity of that, right? That happens physically. And I try to tell people the same thing. You have to think about the same thing virtually, that there are virtual global marketplaces where if you have something to buy, if you have something to sell, you have to be in the room. If you're not in the room, you're not part of the conversation. People don't see you and you don't see potential partners as well. So those are the virtual platforms that we've created, is that we've seen the magic happen, that when people join our platforms, when they join our events, it's like you just get into proximity of whether you're US or Canada or UK or Egypt, wherever you are. If you want to participate in trade with Africa, it's so important to get into proximity of those people that would help you achieve your goals as potential partners, distributors, buyers, investors, all of that as well. Even the B2G, we also have a lot of government members as well that keep us updated on what it is they're doing in their region. For example, last week we had I was part of the Ethiopia Investment Forum, and they've shared the PowerPoints that Ethiopian government out of Addis Ababa sent to us. I've put it out there on our trade network, so if you're a member, you should be able to access it. And they basically also highlighted like um, opportunities in Ethiopia, mining opportunities, regions where you can mine, all of those things. It's in that document. And if you're a member of our network, you can definitely access it. Those type of information gets sent to us a lot. And we put it, our members are the first to see it, or maybe the only people to see it. The other thing that happens is when engagements are happening, people reach out to us and say, okay, this is the latest, greatest. Can you cascade it to the members of your community as well? So we're helping to support our community with strong network, matchmaking, consulting, coaching. Pretty much we're supporting you on your journey, because at the end of the day, our goal is to advance trade with Africa. So that's the quick updates I had for today. And I see Donald, you joined from South Africa. Thank you for joining. I know it's afternoon now for you, going into the evening time. So thank you for joining. We'll leave this video on our YouTube channel. I tell you, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've not done that, please subscribe. Also, if you click on the bell on YouTube, if you're watching from YouTube, then the next content we release, you will receive an alert as well. So that's it from me. Any questions, you can email us info@nazaru.com. But this is something to look out for, the B2B B2G matchmaking service that we're offering as part of the 4th edition of the Trade with Africa Business Summit. And going forward as well, it's something we'll be doing as often as possible. So depending on how many people sign up, we're going to break it down into days, sector days. So healthcare day. So if you're an equipment manufacturer in that space, being able to profile you speaking, meeting other people in that sector and seeing what happens, where you can whether you're looking for distributors or you are looking to buy, all of that. Because we see all of that. We see all of that coming to Nazaru, all of that requests coming, but we're now trying to organize the demand and help people provide the service so that people can see and connect and match better, versus just out there like, oh, Toyin, what can so anyway, so that's it. Thank you so much. You have a blessed weekend, and I look forward to connecting back the coming week, and Obviously, every single day we're bringing value to the community that we serve. I do coaching, members of our network, again, coaching, business coaching, master classes, because people see me on social media and I say, social media is not where the work happens. The work happens offline. So for those players that really want to be part of the movement, not just hearing or talking about it, okay, that's the difference, right? Enough of the talking. Yes, we need to engage in dialogue. I get it. But where the difference happens is offline in our community, in our Trade with African network, where every single day people are advancing, they're networking, they're pitching, they're buying, they're selling, they're advancing, and then we get to support them as well on their journey. I tell people, I'm not going to run your business for you. You get to run your business. All we do is provide you with what you need to be able to accelerate accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish. Awesome. And Alexander, you said there's also this cool feature where you can bring in some of the chat. Let me play it out. Okay. There's also this cool feature where the chats can be brought in. I just saw Alexander say, "Thank you for this information. I will look out for it." Awesome. That's great. Um, okay. Donald also said, thanks, Toyin. Hi, Toyin. South Africa. Awesome. So thank you. Alexander said, you're from Texas. Thank you for joining. And I know it's late in the evening and this is like an unusual live, but that's okay. This just had to happen because there was so much going on with the week and I just wanted to put this out there. So thank you everyone for joining. Again, stay with us. We have my newsletter went out. If you look at my profile, if you're following on LinkedIn, you can find my newsletter. Or if you also visit my own personal website, which is toyinumesiri.com. I also have a newsletter that I manage there. Then we also have on Nazaru, we also have our official newsletter that you can sign up for. You just have to you scroll and then you find that newsletter. You can sign up for our email newsletter. So we have several newsletters that we actually manage depending on if you're a member of our network, the information you get is more intense. Like we share things as they come. Like, oh, there's an event, Ethiopia Embassy. Here's the information. Like, we don't wait. But for other people, we don't want to bombard you. We don't share those exclusive information. For other people that are more like just following, we just provide like maybe once a week, twice a week, all of that. But for those who are members of our network, we show them and share with them. Sometimes on a daily basis, we're sharing the latest, greatest information as well. So thank you, everyone. It's been an honor. Enjoy your weekend. And I look forward to bringing more value to everyone. Take care. Bye.